We're going to take a look beyond politics to a humanitarian crisis that unfortunately is being politicized by the radicals who have enabled it. By now, we are all familiar with the daily horror stories that our open borders they produced. The murders and assaults and the fentanyl, the unregistered weapons, all of the tragedy that Kamala Harris has dumped on our major cities by allowing all of these unvetted illegals to walk right into our backyards. But what about those who were imported? The migrants who were shipped to mid-sized cities and small towns by selfish Democrats who couldn't care less about the Americans who actually live in these towns like Springfield, Ohio, which has made headlines for all the wrong reasons. The focus has been on the allegations of missing pets and reports of imported Haitians killing and consuming local wildlife. What about the Springfield residents? What about the everyday residents who have seen their town and way of life changed forever? Their resources reallocated for this. Here's a story from Springfield that, for whatever reason, is being buried beneath political jousting over what may or may not be true.
Everyone is talking about the death of ducks and cats in this town, but I'd like to talk about the death of one very special person, my mother-in-law, Kathy Heaton. On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A task she had done over 2,000 times, spanning 4 decades in Springfield. That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment.
That is heartbreaking. And will the corrupt corporate media call this story fake too? How could you? As the cases in the areas across the nation, the cases, they go up, the homelessness, the downtrodden, they are typically the first ones to suffer when a wave of government-dependent illegals pulls on into town. But let's head back to Springfield now and listen to how the Haitian invasion has impacted the community's homeless population, including those who served our country and defend us, and the resources that are now being taken away from them and given to these illegals.
You know, the homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced. If you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are, the squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans. They don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced.
And then we sit here and wonder why the United States military is facing a recruitment crisis. Could it be because maybe nobody wants to risk their life, only to be thrown out into the streets when they return? Veterans, our nation's finest, displaced so Haitian migrants can sleep peacefully in Springfield. Of course, you won't hear a word about this from the corrupt Democrats. They hate our veterans and love to ravage the small communities of the United States that they think that their wrongdoings will never escape beyond the local media. They don't think we'll talk about it here. In fact, they don't think they're doing anything wrong. They love this. They love the migrants. And they want all of us to know just how much they can benefit a community near you.
You know, Yamiche, again, you know, if you ever want to meet honest, hardworking, extraordinary people that come to give and not to take, it's the Haitian community in this country.
Sorry, folks. Apparently, I have misled you. It's great to have 20,000 Haitians show up in your small town in Ohio or somewhere else. I mean, are we really supposed to drop all of our concerns just because big media told us to? Why is it always Republicans who are doing the overreacting? I mean that. We're always the ones who were told to calm down or just look the other way. Yeah, Congressman Eric Swalwell, he was allowed to react like this to cat memes that followed some pretty serious accusations and language.
What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets? My God. Are you okay, Mr. Chairman?
He swears and says aliens. I didn't think Democrats were allowed to use that word. Folks, what is happening in Ohio deserves the level of concern that half the country is giving it, because I know everyone in every town, just like Springfield, thinks that their town is next, and I don't blame you. Notice how we've gotten this far into our discussion tonight without absolutely panicking about the insane third world accusations that went viral regarding people's pets. That's because there's so much more to unpack here than what the internet wants you to read. Democratic leaders want to politicize our concern. To them, we're all racist for flagging the ridiculous surge of Haitians who are undoubtedly changing Springfield, Ohio. It will never be the same. That is a fact. It will never be the same again. And yet the residents, they are crying out for help. Shouldn't their personal accounts hold the most weight here? It should. And that's why we're giving them a voice tonight.
It is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. And I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me?
I'm taking my cart down the grocery aisle, and I have 3 immigrants strapped across the aisle. Seen me coming, would not budge, wouldn't even, and I said, excuse me. Maybe they didn't understand what I was saying, but I'm sure they understood that I was trying to get through that aisle. So I have no recourse now but to bust through it. I'm not afraid to do so.
They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them.
That to me sounds like a cry for help. But no, biased media coverage should mean more than those accounts from the actual people who live there in Springfield. These are tax-paying residents who are terrified to leave their homes. They all deserve better than that. Yet their situation, it continues to get worse. Here's the bottom line. The Biden-Harris regime is the enemy of the American people. How about that? They will happily sacrifice Americans to upend your way of life to achieve a political agenda at all costs, and it is for their benefit. What's happening in Springfield, Ohio could be and likely will be coming to a town near you. This is what will happen more and more if Kamala Harris becomes the next president.